Hi everybody and welcome to our live Q&A with Super Software Marketing Officer Tom Williamson Carey from Lineal Software Solutions. Tom is going to be answering some of your questions today all about his job in marketing at Lineal. So Tom, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, as you know, I'm now Tom Williamson Carey. I'm 23. I just finished my human geography degree in Cardiff University. I work as a marketing officer for Lineal Software Solutions. And when I'm not working in the marketing department, I race bikes, push bikes actually, not the actual decent ones, which are boom boom. But it's all right. No, that's a very truly thrilling summary of who I am, but that's me, I'm afraid.
That sounds fantastic and like a lot of fun as well. Racing bikes sounds super interesting. So we've had some cool questions come in about your role at Lineal, and the first one is from Alia in Taunton, and Alia has asked, what is a marketing officer?
Well, thank you for your question. Well, essentially, a marketing officer is responsible for sort of cooperatively delivering specific marketing strategies and activities. For me, that's obviously within Lineal. We can provide direction and feedback on major projects. More industry specific for us. We provide opportunities for our IT technical teams to go on on-site visits or do remote IT assistance to help the digital world. We make key decisions regarding product distributions or budgeting, branding, and also additionally sales. My personal role focuses mainly on how the public and other businesses see Lineal, whether that be the first point of touch, either through a website, an emailing campaign, or through wanting to utilise our services from a business perspective. Finally, the marketing department back in the world that wasn't locked down, we used to visit clients and we armed with our IT support and software solutions. To promote Lineal across a range of Devon and Cornwall businesses, with a few nationwide, even some internationally in some cases, which is quite exciting. In lockdown, no, sadly, we do most of our client liaison in video or over the phone due to social distancing restrictions. Yeah, that's what we do. Yeah, we love it.
Amazing. That sounds like you wear many hats. all under the digital umbrella.
Swapping. Yeah, I know. It,
Super. So we have another question from Jade in Devon, and Jade has asked, what made you want to work with computers?
Well, I think going back to it, I think it's mainly because this sounds like tragic, but I as an early child, I lived on quite a remote out farm, and my school was always about an hour and a half away from where I lived. So I was quite an avid video gamer. That's my way of communicating with my friends, through what I couldn't actually see them in person. I could talk to them online and stuff, and play video games with them. I was always a good fan of, this is going to get quite nerdy, but I was a good fan of real-time strategy games, such as Creative Assembly, Total War series. I absolutely love that, and I'm sure the kids nowadays know what's going on, that kind of thing. I eventually became quite interested in how games are created by developers, and got to explore a bit more about how you code certain games, how you make certain things, why this works, why this doesn't work, what's programmed in, all that kind of exciting stuff. Then one thing led to another, and here I am now in a lovely white room talking to you today. Sadly, due to the fact I am now in this lovely white room, I don't have so much time to recreationally use computers. They are used a lot more now for my actual work purposes, but I still find a bit of time on the weekends to do that. So yeah, that's why I got into computers really. Yeah,
amazing. So you managed to turn your hobby and passion from when you were younger, spending time in school, to a job.
Yeah, actually great. Yeah.
You mentioned before that you did a human geography degree and then went into marketing. How did that come about? What made you switch lanes a little bit?
Well, thinking about it, I was always a humanities subject. I always focused a lot more on big essay writing subjects that require a lot of technical savvy ideas. And as I went to university, I realised I quite a knack of habit for creative side. sort of writing about things and sort of generating sort of content creation, whether that be in a social environment or for more sort of business professional sort of applications. Eventually, throughout my university, I realised that that was something I was quite good at, and I also was quite good at sort of talking to people through sort of communication skills. I found that came quite naturally, and it was quite enjoyable for me sort of to say, hey, this is our product, this is what we do. I find it quite natural to talk to clients and liaisons. So then eventually, throughout my third at university, I realised that that's something I can actually sort of transfer into a sort of actual role. And and the good thing is I realised that if I could be a marketing officer for an IT company, I could combine my sort of natural skills of content creation and natural sort of communication ability also with an actual sort of IT techie role that I had in my childhood. And here we are in the perfect sort of hybrid both worlds. Yeah, that's me.
Cool. That sounds really interesting, and it's interesting the way sort of the subject of geography you might not think is very technical and digital, but actually there's loads of areas in all sorts of subjects where you could follow a career in digital. So yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another question we've had from Mia in Exeter has asked, did you do digital at school? So I know you sort of touched on that a little bit, but in terms of GCSEs and things like that, did you do digital?
Well, due to fact, I was also slightly more humanities subjects. I think it might be quite important to talk about. I didn't focus, especially at A level, I didn't really focus a lot on sort of maths or IT skills or sciences. I did IT at GCSE level, and mainly because we like sort of playing full maths games or stick cricket hidden in the way back of the IT lab. But it also meant that I could have a bit more of a sort of breadth of understanding of IT as a sort of like a whole collective, how it works. Problem is, I think they axed my qualification that I did in 2017, so I'm not sure if it's relevant anymore, the GC that I did, but hey ho. But like I said, IT is a constantly developing world. The syllabus will always have to change every single year with relevancy, so getting the most up-to-date qualification is the most important thing you can do. Coming out of university as a complete humanities student, it became abundantly clear that computer skills were sort of essential, and I was sort of behind the curve in the understanding of how important digital skills were in sort of applying to the workplace and how much I would need to rely on them for a rapidly evolving digital world and workplace. So yeah.
So you'd say concentrating on digital skills in school would definitely be beneficial for when you get to that
yeah, it's required that absolutely, you have to agree. It's a lot easier to learn these skills younger, and sort of do it sort of as a natural progression than having to sort of like straight out of university, learn a huge bulk of IT technical stuff that you need to learn and then go to the world. If you do it sort of nice, smoother curve, you can find that you sort of learn as the technology comes out at the same time. So then you're not sort of learning old stuff, but then the new stuff that's also being released. It's a nice little curve, and it works quite well, and I find it's less stressful and it's sort of better that way. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Fantastic. So this question is from Jack in Taunton, and Jack has asked, what was your job before you started working at Lineal?
Well, like I said, I'm fresh out of university, so within uni, I spent a lot of time as president of the cycling club, sort of designing sales pamphlets, writing race reports. Then on the techie side, I started to sort of design the club logos and kit design, as well as sort of the basics of sort of management of the club funds and that kind of thing. However, my first sort of job was sort of IT focused. I was part of the sort of maritime security company in Plymouth, which sort of focused on sort of monitoring live tracking of sort of freight shipping vessels through the Suez Canal. That was the bit where your iPhone got stuck for about a month, but it was all great. And sort of the Gulf of Aden, and to protect yourself from pirates, not quite the same pirates as you get sort of Captain Jack Sparrow. It's a lot more sort of Captain Phillips. You can see if you guys seen that movie, sort of Tom Hanks thing, yeah. And no, but the job itself sort of relied entirely on computer tracking and computer data for logistics and monitoring of the vessels as they travel through the piracy waters. And it's an incredibly interesting place to be, actually, because you can always see it had a big like board on the wall that had all the ships going across, or like a little technological monitor, and it was actually really, really cool to see. It's like those movies where you're sat like the war room of a sort of like Mission Impossible movie, and you're sat there just loving it. But no, that was my first job, and that was really exciting actually. I sort of gauged a little bit more of like how I could use digital skills in a working environment, and how it'd be really, really cool to sort of have and use. So yeah.
That does sound very exciting, actually. I think I would love to be able to see all the different ships going around and keep track of them all.
Yeah. You've
That
only
sounds
got to worry when the light goes out. Other than that, it's like, when the light goes out of the ship, you've got to worry a little bit. Yeah, so,
That's when you call the RNLI, yeah?
you need more than that.
Oh, that sounds really exciting. So you've sort of come straight out of uni and already started using and applying those digital skills that you had and developing them throughout your career. Super. So let's have a look. We've got another question from Layla in Torquay, and Layla has asked, how did you learn to use the technology that you're currently using in your job?
Well, like I said, it's been quite an incredibly steep learning curve for me into work technology, especially since when I joined Lineal. I'm very fortunate to have a very, very good marketing team around me that have been incredibly patient and extremely helpful in getting me up to grips with the whole host of partner technological software that we utilise here at the business. Currently, in order to improve my sort of digital skills awareness, me personally, is embarking on some specialised training courses with our relevant partner IT providers, in order to develop sort of greater understanding of their technological products, and therefore be able to market them more appropriately to appropriate businesses and clients as we go along. One point I would quite like to bring up is that I, like myself, a lot of young people sort of overlook focusing on IT qualifications. I sort of believe that I was already very tech savvy through sort of gaming or texting, or as I like to, the classic stereotype of plugging the Wi-Fi monitor at home and going, "Ooh, I've changed the HDMI cable," that kind of thing. Yeah, it's all a bit of fun, but when it actually comes down to sort of business applications, they have like some fundamental hole in understanding, and it becomes sort of a sort of dawn on them that they haven't quite got the sort of technical skills that are required because they thought they already knew about it. So this could be sort of scenarios such as data modeling or sort of data handling abilities that are quite well, a necessity in an incredibly evolving digital hybrid world in the employment sector, and it can very much show up some holes you have within your sort of self-taught IT knowledge. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so I guess like all of the sort of things that everybody sees on the outside, like the website and social media and all that kind of stuff, the back end of that, where you're analyzing the website and how many people are viewing it and all that kind of stuff, is very sort of, you've got to be quite tech savvy, and there's a lot of learning to do in there, but definitely something that you can develop as you grow up, and best to get started now, I think.
Absolutely. So
we've just had a question come in from one of the schools asking, what are the key digital skills you use the most in your job?
Well, for instance, around digital skills, mostly like sort of content creation and using like external software to around sort of security. So within Lineal itself, we use sort of like, I don't know, name drop names because I think it's the same sort of an emailing security system as well as password security systems. That stuff I have to use like day to day in my job, to learn about how exactly we can be a safer and sort of digital environment is one of the most important things I learned since coming to the company, where I thought, oh, I'll be fine, I can save my password on a piece of paper or in my phone, that'll be fine. No one's going to ever get access to that, everything will be fine. And lo and behold, you can, it's incredibly insecure. I think my third day in the office, there's like a website you go on, you can type in your email address and see whether or not your email address has been a victim to one of the big like hacking breaches around the world. I found out mine has been about 5 of them, and they go, oh wow. God, yeah, they go, oh dear, hang on, maybe I feel that I'm safe and secure, and in reality, there's a whole world of technical digital skills, not digital scary stuff behind the scenes is actually sort of exposing data, and I'm not as safe as I seem online. Obviously, in person, fine. So yeah.
It's interesting to see how all of those things kind of interlink as well, because you just talked a bit about cybersecurity, which
Yeah,
links into marketing and links into digital skills and just everything really.
yeah.
And yeah, although it might seem like a bit of a scary thing, having all that knowledge of behind the scenes must make you feel quite more confident in being able to
Yeah,
use
no,
digital.
absolutely. Yeah, well, an incredibly sort of great part of our business currently is our cybersecurity team, which we've seen over the last couple of years have been an increasing necessity for need, especially in sort of remote lockdown scenarios where we have a lot more sort of working home endpoint devices that need to be secured, and also the vulnerability of companies is they're stretched sort of so far across different workplaces all around, sometimes around a company or even internationally, is that we find security across these companies, when they're all focused in an office, is fairly solid, but as soon as they go to external endpoints, it becomes an absolute mess. And that could open up avenues of huge like areas of data breaches or personal sensitive data being released. And yeah, so that's us. That's about what we want to do. So.
Good that you've got all the software and things to be able to help people with that.
Absolutely, which is, yeah, we're in a very lucky situation to be able to do that, so it's great.
So we've got another question here from Evie in North Devon, and Evie has asked, what is your favourite part of your job?
Well, as I previously mentioned, I've always been quite a creative writer, and my marketing role allows my creative side to sort of flourish, whether that be through emailing, campaign production, or writing sort of pseudo journalistic pieces for the website, or even externally through doing things like this webinar today, or sort of public relations events such as the North Devon Show, or that kind of thing. And yeah, since I'm here today talking to you guys, I know I sound a bit ropey because I've got a slight cold. Not COVID, but it's a little bit of a cold. So normally I'm quite a good people person and my communication skills are quite good. So within marketing, I do get to talk to people a lot, whether that be on the phone, whether it be on a video call. Hopefully at some point it might even be in person. I find that quite natural and sort of highly productive, but normally sort of I progress what wants to happen in the phone call and it all works really well. So yeah, that's my favourite part actually. It's the social side of it. I probably should say, yeah, I love working really hard and learning about software, but yeah. So
No, that's really lovely though, because actually at Lineal, there's obviously quite a few different roles, and if
yeah,
you might be quite shy and not too keen on the social side of things, and there's roles appropriate there for that. But actually, if
yeah,
you are a
absolutely.
really confident and social person and thrive off working in a team with other people, there are also roles there as well. So no matter what sort of person you are, there's always a role in digital for you.
Absolutely. Like I said, we have a whole range of roles within Lineal. Like you don't have to be a social butterfly. You can be incredibly highly talented IT, like knowledgeable, and there'll always be a role within our company for you. So that's absolutely ideal. And it really is like a whole range, diverse roles of employment, which is great for everyone in all aspects of life. So it's great.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So our next question is from Ben in Torbay, and Ben has asked, do you think it's important to be good on a computer? So I know we've kind of touched on this already, but sort of, do you think that taking it in school is essential, or can you learn it along the way? What do you think?
Well, it's like, as I might previously mentioned, I did learn it very much all in one block, which I would not advise doing. It was quite a traumatic, kind of stressful time. But the learning along the way is really good because, as demonstrated in lockdown, due to that traumatic shift on reliance on their devices, such as computers at home or work at home, that kind of thing, or just contact your friends or like entertainment on Netflix or video gaming, whatever. This is really like showed who struggles with basic computer skills, for example. So if you have basic computer skills, you can sort of open yourself to sort of a whole range of opportunities, whether that be for employment, for you getting a promotion to a higher position within your workplace. Being computer illiterate sort of allows you to work on your sort of more challenging projects or tasks because you've got a higher drive of efficiency because you're not doing everything on paper. Certain processes within your world will be automated, so that makes your life even easier. Even if you're still as an entry-level employee, having the necessary skills within the IT sector can help you achieve specific goals in your organisation. Being computer literate, I would argue, is now almost a requirement in any workplace or any job. It's difficult to find a job that doesn't involve computer in some way. almost every position will require a basic understanding of the operating system you use, or whether that be Windows, Mac, Linux, whatever. Understanding computing is a sort of foundation of which you have to have in order to add new skills to your list while working. Having a skill is sort of essential for progressing in your career. And one final point is that due to facts, the whole world is becoming a little bit more digitalized. You can give yourself more protection in an increased sort of threatening digital world. And I know it sounds scary, but it is. There's like malware scams or ransomware scams out there. If you're more well dangerous, you're less likely to open an email that says, "Hi, please click here to win $1 million, shoot 4 iPads to win a free iPad," that kind of thing. If you've got even just a little bit of like techie savvy, I know the kids nowadays, they know everything about tech. They probably, show me up pretty badly. But yeah, it's like you don't want to be clicking that, downloading software, and then ringing us saying how I've done something wrong. If you already know that kind of like technological standpoint behind, it puts you in a greater position, even for but even with this online safety and cybersecurity, and that's something we quite like to push. So yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree, especially with all of the recent events of the last year of the lockdown. And for me, I didn't think my job was very digital at all. And then suddenly I was spending a lot of time on a computer with new systems that I hadn't seen before. And actually being able to practice and already knowing a lot of digital things really, really helped. And I think exposing yourself to digital and just practicing and getting stuck in has definitely been really helpful.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I know that's absolutely. I see. One problems I have, quite a funny story is at home. My parents, we have this printer and it's Wi-Fi connected. For some reason, they can't understand it at all. I love my parents, but they are sort of technological dinosaurs, and they can't understand that they can't connect. There doesn't have to be a physical connection between the Wi-Fi router and the printer. And whenever they try and do it over the Wi-Fi, they crash it, and we have no Wi-Fi connection or phone signal for about a day as a result. And it's always bringing it, "Oh, it's all working, haven't we?" But like, if you can learn at a younger age that, hey, this is how it works, this is how to do it, you don't have to be the sort of mum or dad in 30 years' time going, "Oh, the HDMI cable's changed, I don't know what's happening." So it's all fine, but other than that, it's fine.
I'm sure there are a lot of students on this webinar listening or listening back recorded who will definitely agree with you that they are always on hand to help out their parents. But again, really, really good practice. And if you can help out with technology as much as you can at home and at school, then yeah, you'll be onto a winner.
Absolutely.
So, we have another question from Kieran in Plymouth, and Kieran has asked, if you could choose any dream job, what would you choose?
Oh, that is a tough one. That is a tough one. I think that's quite an evolving question, to be honest. I've had quite a few sort of roles I wanted to do as I got older. Yeah, it's gonna be sad, but when I wanted to be a dragon, so when I was 6, I wanted to be a dragon. That sounds weird. I know that sounds really strange. But by about 7 years old, I didn't have any scales. I wasn't breathing fire. I thought, maybe not. Maybe it's gonna happen. But in a real life scenario, I think my sort of dream job would be heading up my own marketing department, sort of acting as a team leader, producing over a long term sort of technical, successful marketing strategies. Either that, or I could be an astronaut, but I am scared of heights and space, and yeah, but yeah, on that should be fine. So.
No, that sounds really cool. It sounds like you're doing something that you really enjoy, which is fantastic.
Yeah,
but also, all 3 of those roles, dragon,
yeah,
and what you're doing now and astronaut, all involve digital skills. Obviously a bit of a joke with the dragon thing, but actually gaming, you can go into another world and pretend to be something else. There's always different roles that you can have in digital to fulfill some kind of passion or dream that you might have.
Absolutely.
So we've had another question just come in. And they've asked, what advice would you give to somebody who maybe isn't feeling too confident in digital and thinking that they're not very good at it? What advice would you have for them?
Well, luckily these practice is now getting quite sort of widespread. There was a lot of online guides about how to sort of protect yourself in an online world. From a sort of protection point of view, I think it was last year, sort of Barclays did a sort of digital eagle scheme, that kind of thing, where you could go online and sort of learn how to stay safe, especially in a banking scenario, of how sort of you can protect yourself in the cybersecurity world. Companies will often, along with their products, have a sort of FAQ or sort of protection bit on the side, or tell them a lot about how you can, it's a little bit like, corporate focus, like how their product will help you, but also it'll give you a lot more about how you protect yourself in an online environment. But also, it's never too late to learn, I would say. Like there's always IT qualifications, whether that be free or paid, online through colleges or universities that operate online, that can give you the certain digital skills that you need. But like I said, it's always really good to get them early on, especially in a school environment with GCSEs coming up. If you get those digital skills early on, they pay absolute dividend throughout the rest of your life. And they're not things you forget either. Like you sort of never forget how to do stuff on a computer, unless software changes, obviously. But no, it's all really, really good, and that's the way forward, I think. So yeah.
Definitely, yeah. There's so many valuable online resources, like you said, the Barclays Life Skills, and also whilst you are in school and you've got the opportunity to ask questions to people who are probably very, very talented in these subject areas, like your computing teachers, definitely ask questions and don't be afraid to find out more. We also send out a newsletter every other week as part of this project, and that has loads of really useful tips on gaining more skills in digital and places to go if you want to learn more. So yeah, lots of online resources and lots of in-person resources as well.
Yeah. One final thing I would say is that Petroc are currently running their sort of like technology transfer. It's exactly to what that question was. I'm really sorry, I forgot your name who said the question in the chat. But they're running sort of technology transfer. It's where companies like Lineal run a series of webinars or web chats that can sort of assist businesses or even individuals that are sort of either a little bit scared or just struggling to get the grips with a sort of increasingly digital world. And sort of we offer sort of courses, or whether that be sort of GDPR, cybersecurity, email marketing, or just general safety online from an individual perspective, like banking. They're running currently at the moment, available to sign up on the Petroc website if that's something you want to be doing. So yeah, brilliant.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's all I'd say. Thank you.
That sounds really valuable, and I think if you share that with me in an email, I will definitely send that out in the next newsletter.
Absolutely, I will. Thank you very much.
Really helpful. Super. Well, thank you so much, Tom, for answering our questions today. It's been really great to learn more about what it's like to be a super software marketing specialist, as you are, or marketing officer. We hope everybody has enjoyed hearing about Tom's job today, and we will see you next time for our Amazing Makers live Q&A. Thank you.
Thank you all for your time. Bye.